I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this webinar. We're going to do two versions of it. This is going to be the short version for just the basic facts. If you're a person that likes to have more detail, we're going to provide you with a little bit more detail on the longer version of the recording. This is our 2018 client update for our GuideSpring Wealth Strategy clients. So today we're going to take a look at John and Katie Abel. They are our sample client. They're a fictitious client, and we have used our strategies that we typically use on our individual clients when we have keyed in the base facts for John and Katie Abel. So this webinar is going to cover two basic things. One is a software financial planning program called Simplicitree. Many of you are used to the eMoney financial planning client portal, and I trust that you'll find that this version lives up to its name of being a little bit more simple with Simplicitree here. So kind of moving through this at a pretty quick pace here to give you the high-level overview. We obviously have a married couple here with individual birth dates and such, and a certain amount of income and monthly expenses. Monthly expenses number is something that we can't control. We have to get that from you. So you have to provide us with what your budget is or how much money you need to have in retirement, so we obviously know what kind of goal we're hitting. If you are in the habit of saving monthly or quarterly or annually, we would like that information as well. This is something that you can log into. One of the complexities with the eMoney software is it takes a lot of maintaining. Links go down, links break, and then all of a sudden a client logs in and sees that they don't have the investments they once thought they had because it stopped reporting in through a technology glitch. With Simplicitree, we have a lot more control over that, and so it will be a more stable interface for you checking up on your financial plan. But we do give you username login access to this. For you to be able to see the version of your plan that we create. So with this, what we're going to do is we're going to actually go into a financial planning software presentation on John and Katie Abel's retirement plan. And so it's important to keep in mind we do title these, and so one of the advantages of doing this is we could take what you have currently going on, and some of those assets could be in various different locations and different investment strategies, and then we could create a secondary plan that's different than the base plan to kind of show you what some potential benefits would be if we were to look at some different options. And so it really kind of lets you see the effects of your decisions before you make your decisions. So at this point, we kind of key in the investments as they are in the custodian level. So we've got a couple of TD Ameritrade accounts. It looks like John has 2 and Katie has 1. And then we key in the tax code because we're all about taxes and tax savings and tax strategies. And so we want to definitely keep that current by showing you some potential options as well there. We also will key in Social Security information, and that kind of is what flows into the basic data that comes into the plan. This base plan here is really what you're going to see when you look at this on your individual level. You're going to see if you're married, you know, the husband and wife's name and obviously their birth date, how many years do they have to retirement, or if you're in retirement, that'll be reflected as well. And then I always have had a habit of forecasting the end of life at age 100. I'd rather you not make 100 you know, at 95 and your financial plan was geared towards giving you income through age 100 than the other way around. So if we put in here age 100, we know that we're going to have a plan that's going to generate that income, really no matter how long you live. And then we've got what the first little definition that the software takes a look at, and that is above ground investments. Above ground investments are anything that's subject to appreciation, which is also growth, or depreciation, which is also loss of principal. So with TD Ameritrade, stuff goes up and stuff goes down. You know, over time it goes up, but that's the definition of above ground. From a tree standpoint, it's this up here. It's the part of the tree that we see, the branches and the leaves and such. In this base presentation, there's nothing in below ground, so there's no root system. So whether you're a Colorado client or a Texas client, both states are known for having some decent wind. And if this is your tree with no root system, this is the kind of tree that blows over. But that also being said, this is typically how we see assets from clients before they get onboarded with GuideSpring, and we can make some suggestions in their favor. The other thing that we typically see with brand new clients is a large percentage of their assets subject to future taxation. So in this case, everything but this little $10,000 in the Roth is subject to future taxes by yet to be elected Congress. And that is, quite frankly, fairly scary. The other neat thing about this software program is it tells you what you need to have in a rate of return. So in this case, you need to have a 5.61% rate of return in order to ensure you have a desired lifestyle without the fear of running out of money during your lifespan. So it tells us really what target we need to hit. Over here is a cumulative income need. You'll see here that this client has 30% of their income is supplied from passive sources such as Social Security, and this zone here, 70%, is what you're missing from retirement income. Once you get into these numbers, they're a little bit of a spreadsheet format, so don't let that scare you for those that don't like spreadsheets, but it's pretty easy to follow. You're seeing that this client's saving $6,000 a year. That is being withdrawn from the checking account, $6,000, and put into the retirement funds, and those assets continue to grow. At this point, it appears that one of the two parties is filing for Social Security early at age 63, and so you see here there's $14,650 of Social Security. But when both clients are on Social Security at age 67, that number jumps up to $43,000. Anytime you see a number, you can click on it. So literally, I just clicked on this $43,000. Explains where that number came from. $27,800 is coming from John's Social Security. $15,800 is coming from Katie's. Now, the clients originally told us they needed about $125,000 a year to live after tax, and we've put inflation in there because stuff goes up in time and costs more money. So the following year, they need $128,000. The following year, they need $132,000. Now, the way their current assets are structured in a diversified basket of investments, they don't have any guaranteed income streams. And so in typical American traffic law paradigms, red is bad and green is good. And when you see a negative red number, it is a double bad number. It means that not only is that income not being supported through reliable sources, you're having to actually sell, invest, get access to it, and then take it out of your portfolio. And you can see here that that may not noticeably be dangerous to you in the early years because the overall retirement income continues to go up. But as you get into your later years and you need more and more money out of your plan to keep up with inflation, you could see that that portfolio value tends to drop. And if you only got a 5.61% rate of return, you'll spend your last $7.64 on your 100th birthday and die absolutely broke with zero. And so in some respects, a successful financial plan because you ran out of life before you ran out of money, but we typically don't like seeing red negative numbers and zero balances at the end of the day. So now let's go to work. So this client has now hired GuideSpring, and we're going to go into this investment planning zone, and we're going to kind of make some preliminary, test cases for decisions. We're going to show, hey, we're going to keep this account at TD Ameritrade or in this Roth, but this account here we're going to sell. If you remember, it used to be an IRA for Katie, but we're choosing to go ahead and pass that back through the tax code, pay a little bit of taxes now in exchange for that money becoming tax-free and giving us a tax-free income stream in retirement. Now, one of the other cool things about this software is it also is highlighting the second point that I'm trying to make with this 2018 update, and that is we have a new investment strategy that we can implement at TD Ameritrade on your behalf. You don't have to open up any new accounts or change anything other than the underlying investments. But in this case, we have a portfolio that is built of 28 to 30 long-established companies that pay dividends. And our filter for choosing these companies is quite simple. Do they obviously turn a profit? They have a good revenue. Do they have a good cash balance to be able to support their dividend payments? If they make that test, if they pass that test, then we go on to the next screen or filter. The next filter is, have they consistently paid dividends for longer than 20 years? So every quarter, year in and year out, for 20 years, have they continued to pay dividends? If they pass that second screen, we go to the third question, which is, have they had a history of increasing those dividend payments? And if they pass those three tests, then they're a candidate for those 28 to 30 stocks. Currently, that dividend portfolio is paying 5% dividends on the value of the investments. So literally, you could do this calculation with me. John has an IRA of $431,250, paying a 5% dividend. That's $21,562 that could go into his dividend amount. $21,562. So again, we're taking the full value of the account, $431,250. We're getting a 5% dividend, and that is worth $21,572. Now, as time goes up and values increase, let's say over time that we've gotten a 20% rate of return on this money, so we're going to add this $143,000 back into the account and show what it looks like in the future. So at $431,250, we have this market appreciation that I'm adding back in, showing that I've got the remainder amount to invest, and that's $575,000. Okay, and at that point we times that by 5%, and we get our $28,750. And I'll show you why I did this exercise here when we take it the other direction. Now the Roth, same thing. You don't even need a calculator. 5% of 10,000 is 500. It goes in right there. Now on this side, remember Katie had some IRA money that we wanted to go ahead and convert to tax-free money. So we take this $225,000 and we convert it over to the tax-free side. So it's no longer an IRA. It's considered non-qualified or after-tax money. And we're putting it with a custodian that's been around for over 100 years, Minnesota Mutual Life. And then on this acronym of LIRP stands for Life Insured Retirement Program. So what that means is there is an element of the traditional death benefit, for the LI part of life insurance. But we're more concerned about the RP part of the word LIRP. The RP is the retirement plan. That means this is designed to kick off income from age 66 all the way through 100, and that's going to be $83,000. That $83,000 is not subject to taxes. We call that triple tax protected from 3 types of taxes. So let's go in here and see what this looks like. Well, first off, there's a couple things we've noticed here. We've shifted some stuff from all above ground, where the client started, to some is below ground. Is it enough? I don't know. It's up to the client, but I would say on our first run, our first year of financial planning, we've knocked them from 99% tax concern to 65% tax concern. Is there room for improvement in the future? Sure. But that's a pretty good start. We've also moved it from 100% above ground, a very scary and weak tree in times of storm, to having a better root system, 34% below ground, which is a lot more secure. So this below ground investment is not only protected from market risk, it's also protected from taxes. The final detail about these accounts is all 3 of these accounts will put income in the client's pocket without having to liquidate any investments to get that income. Remember when I showed you before they needed to get a 5.61% rate of return in order to succeed with all their income needs in retirement? Now we don't need to get a rate of return at all. This is where a 0 is good. If we never get a rate of return, you will have enough money to live out the rest of your life and have all the income you need. Will we get a rate of return? Sure. Have we historically? Absolutely. But we don't need to get a rate of return for it to be successful. And then we jump over here. Remember, we have that same 30% supplied from Social Security, but now we not only have our 70% turning from red to green, we have a surplus. We have 29% extra money that they have working for them for their retirement. So before, this client was saving $6,000, they were withdrawing $6,000, putting it in the retirement. Now they have this dividend coming in on top of $6,000, $29,250 now at age 52 for dividends, coupled with the $6,000 they were saving, means $35,250 is going into the retirement plan. Green is good. Haven't changed anything about Social Security, haven't changed anything about their income need. But now we have this other supply of money. And so you have this investment income of $133,000. Remember when I said you could click on any number and get more information? You can see here at this point in time, his dividends have grown to $49,000 on his IRA. On the Roth, it's up to $865, and this is an annual income number. And on that life insured retirement program, with Katie, the below ground money, there's $83,000 that is not subject to income taxes or market risk and comes in the form of income. This leaves the client the ability to sleep easy at night knowing that they don't have to worry about the market going up or down because their income is coming in predictably and stably. They also have $24,000 extra left over at the end of the year, which can go into their portfolio and grow, or upon seeing this, you may choose to take some more vacations in your early years or create a legacy plan for your kids or your grandkids. Going down to the bottom, again, if you got a 0% rate of return, you have enough money to last out your retirement years and you're still leaving $3.2 million behind. The key takeaway, folks, is we would like to send you some paperwork if you would like to follow this program and allow us to switch the investment methodology to the dividend program, where we can start collecting dividends on your TD Ameritrade account assets at 5%. And if you're in your savings years, you can reinvest those. If you're in your retirement years, we can direct deposit them into your bank account where you can spend them without concern. For our relationships that are ongoing service relationships with financial planning, over the next quarter, we're going to be transitioning your private client to a portal to Simplicitree so that you can log in and see these for your individual situation. As always, I'm here for any questions. If you'd like to reach out to Rachel to get scheduled on my calendar, I'd be happy to show you more information about this going forward. Thank you for your time.